Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty much going to wait until, let's see, Till YouTube gives y'all some notifications to let y'all know that I'm live. And yeah, I am standing up. I get tired of sitting down a whole lot of times. So yeah, just let you know I am standing up right now. So anywho, I'm going to wait for YouTube to allow the notifications to get out there. So if you're watching this at a later time, like I forgot where my watch. If you're watching this at a later time, it's a good chance that you will not get me to talk about this subject until we kind of get deep into it. And I know that some of you guys may not even get this message. And there was a time where on YouTube where I would go live like this all the time, late into the wee hours in the morning, to where some of my subscribers would stay on here. I would like go to sleep, pass out, and they will still be on there till 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever like that. So anyway, I'm not going to get into this yet until I see certain amount of people got in here, because I'm going to filibuster. I'm going to lollygag on the talk. If there's any of you that are in the live chat right now, I'm going to see who's in there so I can shout y'all out while y'all are possibly coming in here. But no one has said anything yet. So YouTube trolls and YouTube bots and YouTube AI watchers, how are you guys doing? Because it seems like you guys are the ones that are in here right now. So otherwise, I don't see none of my regular subs in here. All right. So again, hope you guys are all having a good night, good evening, depending on what side of the pond you on. You might be across seas. I don't know what time of the night or morning it may be in those countries, but hope you guys are all having a good night, good evening, good day, whatever the case may be. Okay. But this is a little bit of some breaking news that I'm going to talk about in approximately 1 minute. So if you are watching this at a later time, if you're watching this on Sunday, then I would advise you to skip ahead to the 3-minute mark. You know what I mean? If you watch this later on, after this video ends, I would recommend you fast forward to like the 3-minute mark, whatever like that. So be sure to do that. And again, right now, I don't see that there's anybody in here right now. Well, I do see that there's people in here, but no one is saying nothing in the comment section yet. So I'm not going to say anything yet myself. So I'm just going to wait for that 3-minute mark to come, which is going to be in about 30 seconds. And I can still kind of filibuster and lollygag within those 30 seconds. So I'm going to ask you right now before I get into it, if you know about this story. Have you heard about this story? What's going on, Newfie Mom? Have you heard about this story? And what do you think about it? I talked about it before. Some people got pissed off on my take on it because I was neutral with my take and just asking a bunch of questions. Some folks didn't. So anyway, with that being said, you have made it to the 3-minute mark if you fast forwarded to it, and I'm going to get right on into this. I am Ty Smith, and you're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. I greatly appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to view my content. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as Modern Renaissance Man with the O in modern being a 0. That same is for TikTok. Make sure you follow me on Twitter or X, and I'm on there as The Real Ty Smith, so make sure you get that part right. And then I also have another YouTube channel called Man, Husband, Father. Okay, Man, Husband, Father. So anyway, you guys are all reading the title right now. You're reading the topic right there, right? And if you are reading what it's about, you will see that it has in there that Karmelo Anthony is being charged as an adult with first-degree murder, because in the state of Texas, apparently, if you are 16 or 17 years old, you can be tried as an adult. Okay, you can be tried as an adult. So that's what's going on right now. I see some of you guys are saying that I'm on it. Y'all got me playing on your TV and everything like that. Do I look taller on your TV now? Y'all used to seeing me sit down. You know, guys are not used to seeing me standing up. So believe it or not, I actually am a stander, and I'm more like what we call a kinesio learner. So like at my job in the office, I actually have a stand-up desk. I stand up the whole entire time while I'm documenting, when we make our rounds and everything like that through our facilities, and I go back to my main desk area. My main desk area is a standing desk. I am a stander the whole entire time. The only time I'm sitting down is when you guys see me in my studio area making videos on YouTube. So anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know this story, this is the story of the young black kid who was at a track meet, and he apparently went under someone's tent. We don't know. It's all kind of various stories, whether he was invited or not. He was underneath another track team's tent. And there were twin brothers there. You know, y'all heard about Metcalf. And There was a little bit of words being exchanged. Metcalf told him to get from underneath the tent or leave, whatever the case may be. I don't know all the details. Karmelo Anthony wouldn't leave. Something happened to where Karmelo Anthony said, touch me and see what happened. Well, he got touched apparently. And then Karmelo Anthony turned back and said, punch me and see what happened. So I guess there was a battle of testosterone, whatever you want to call it. And while I guess a little bit of a scuffle broke out, Karmelo Anthony took a knife out and stabbed Metcalf in the chest, in which Metcalf died. Okay. And the stories came out that Metcalf died in his brother's arms, which was that's 100% completely tragic. Okay. So what ended up happening is that Karmelo Anthony ran away. People identified who he was. The cop ran over to Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony right then out of his mouth and said, I did it. The police officer said he called it in and said, I have a suspect that fits the description. And Karmelo Anthony said, no, I'm not a suspect. I'm not an alleged person. He said, I did it. That's what Karmelo Anthony told the cop. And then as he was handcuffed and put in the car or anything like that, they said that Karmelo Anthony also inquired on Metcalf. He said, is he going to be okay? Is he all right after he stabbed him? So ladies and gentlemen, don't necessarily have to go through a whole lot of things, but I'm just going to throw out a few little nuggets and topics and different things that I've come across from going on several panels and talking about this in community wise on panels and things. And there's so many different variables to this, but a lot of people, y'all get a lot of things mixed up when you don't know how to actually look at something and listen to something from a logical standpoint. Okay. A lot of people have a problem with doing things like that, where you have a hard time listening to something from, let me see if I can turn this a little bit so we can get out a certain amount of light. I don't know how, oh, I got dark and no, I'm trying to get myself a little lighter. There we go. That's better. Okay. So like I was saying, you have to look at these things from all angles, right? A lot of people had the questions of, what was he doing bringing a knife to school anyway? No one should be bringing a knife to school. I completely understand that. I completely agree with you on that. But at the same time, the reason why I want to have this conversation like this, because I don't know about some of you guys, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend and act like I didn't have any friends or buddies that brought a knife to school either. Like, it'll just be like, hey, y'all, look, and he'll pull out a knife or something like that. And bro, you stupid, man. You know, sometimes they got in trouble. Like, there's a few times, I cannot tell you guys how many times in high school where a story went out like, oh man, Chad got caught with a knife. Oh man, Andy got caught with a knife. Oh, such and such got caught with a knife. So when people say things like, what was he doing bringing a knife to school anyway? He was looking for trouble. That's not necessarily true, because guys, all 4 years in high school, I would say there was a story about a knife being confiscated or somebody getting suspended for 3 days for bringing a knife to school. It was at least 5 to 10 stories of someone bringing a knife to school like every 6 months. Nobody thought to themselves like, oh my God, what were they going to do? Why did they bring a knife? Everybody just thought in their minds, okay, man, how stupid can you be to bring a knife to school? Why would you bring a knife? The parents would come. There would be a whole lot of things like that. So here's the deal. No one should be bringing a knife to school, period. Nobody. You are absolutely out of your mind and you are crazy if you are bringing a knife to school. The only way you are bringing a knife to school or something like that is because you may not have good parents. And if you do have good parents and you brought a knife to school, you must have snuck it in or something like that and your parents did not know. But my point in saying all that is I'm not going to sit here and pretend and act like we never heard of somebody bringing a knife to school. Now, bringing a knife to school does not sit there and show any type of ill intent that I'm bringing this knife to school just so I can harm somebody. Some of them just try to fit in like, I'm the cool kid. Look at my knife. Ooh wee, right? Not saying this is what Karmelo did, but at the same time, is it possible that Karmelo could have brought the knife because of some other things? I do not know. Point being, he should not have brought a knife. But here's the other kicker. He brought the knife to this track meet. And according to what we have researched, you're not supposed to bring certain weapons or anything like that to a track meet. It can be considered a felony. Okay? It can be considered a felony. Now, what they're breaking down right now is that Karmelo Anthony, the knife that he brought, it just fits below inches in what would be considered a felony for bringing it. But that doesn't even matter now, because the fact the boy is on trial and he's in, he's in trouble right now for killing someone with the knife. Plain and simple. Now, some of you need to understand something, okay? Because I've been doing this thing for a long time. He is being charged as an adult for first-degree murder, is what he's being charged as right now. So what's going to happen is the defense is going to have to prove that he was not doing this with premeditation in his head to kill someone. That's what they're saying. Now, here's the thing as well. They're going to have to prove, I guess, that what he was doing was self-defense. And if it was self-defense with a knife. So what's a lot of stuff that's going to come out through this thing? But what I hope that a lot of people do not know, and I hope that a lot of you guys understand this, is do not try to turn this into some race thing. We have to say it again. We have to say it again. I'm going to have to keep on saying it. Do not try to take this Karmelo Anthony bullcrap and try to turn it into a race thing. Don't try to pull all the bullcrap of, if it was the other way around and he stabbed one of us, he would have got off. He wouldn't even went to jail. Let's not do all that bullcrap. This is a high school fight that went terribly bad because both of them made really bad decisions, but Karmelo Anthony had no reason to bring a knife to that meet, period. But just because he brought a knife, you cannot say that he also brought the knife with the intent of saying, I'm going to murder somebody that day. Can't do that, right? Now, at the same time, and God rest his soul, and some of you guys are going to have a problem with this. I can already tell you're going to have a problem with this. I wish wholeheartedly that Metcalf would not have put his hands on Karmelo Anthony. I wish he would have when they got a coach, because guys, I'm just keeping it real with y'all. It's been times where if we was beefing with somebody else, coaches were there for one, but in a case like this, I'm just keeping it real. If you ever ran track, and I did it and did it professionally, right? If you are underneath the 10, y'all, you look it up. I've won Junior Olympics and everything before. It's been times where it has came down raining, and we might have ran just by, hey, y'all mind if I get on this tent and chill real quick while it's raining there? Oh yeah, come on in. It's been times where we had our own canopy set up, and somebody would run underneath our tent like, hey, y'all mind? We just, oh yeah, cool, no problem, whatever. But they asked. Now, has there been times where somebody actually ran under our canopy and didn't ask for permission? Yes. And we didn't beef with nobody or anything like that, because we know, look, it's pouring raining outside. They came to our canopy like that, and we just sat there and just chilled. That's all we did. That's all we did. But in this case, I know y'all, it's so many things in it, and I hope they do some really good job picking a jury. I wish that Metcalf never would have. I wish he would have just, okay, whatever, shut up. Okay, yeah, shut up. Okay, yeah, okay. I wish that's how it would have went. I wish it would have been, look, as soon as it's done raining and everything, get from underneath our tent. I wish they wouldn't have had this ego thing going on, pretty much is what I'm getting at. If there was not no ego thing going on, trash talking, and all this, Metcalf never would have touched him. Metcalf would still be here. And I'm not saying that if some of y'all are thinking this because you think you know what my thoughts are. I'm not saying that there's any justification for Karmelo stabbing him, but at the same time, would it have been different if he did not touched Karmelo Anthony, would he still be alive today? Yes, he would. That's what I'm saying. So now, pretty much is this. I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these comments. Let me tell you something. C Matterson says, I am a hunter, and I can tell you what this guy is saying is a bunch of bull crap. I'm a hunter too. So what is that supposed to mean? You got some like more credibility over me because you hunt? I hunt too. Well, I'm black, so I know more than you too. I know what it's like to be black and have a white guy harass you. That doesn't validate anything that I'm saying right now. Give me any extra oomph over you because I'm saying something like that. What is that supposed to mean? I'm a hunter and I know more than this guy. That's bull crap, dude. You sound ignorant right now. You said because you guys made it a race thing. Were you not listening to me when I literally just said? Anybody in here right now? Did you guys literally just hear me just get done saying? I hope that they don't keep on trying to turn this into a race thing. Did I not just say that? Did I not just say? But of course, people hear what they want to because they're a hunter. Stop. Stop. Yeah, you trolling right now. I'm not even going to address you no more. You are trolling right now. There's no need to even address you no more. You probably paid by YouTube to be a bot in here. There are paid trolls in here, so you will not be having no type of attention from me no more. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, this is something that people can bring up. And now, you know what? This is about to turn into this. It's going to turn into a whole like OJ thing. And what made people really mad about this particular subject is after this thing happened with Karmelo Anthony, right? What's crazy about that is that a GoFundMe was created, right? A GoFundMe was created and a whole lot of money was raised. And Karmelo's parents apparently took the money and they moved because they were allegedly getting like death threats. They were getting like all these, hate crimes and things like that of the sort. And then what got crazier is that a judge, he had like, I forget, I don't know, don't quote me on this. I think he had like $1 million. He had like $1 million bond. And then a GoFundMe was created, not by the family. A GoFundMe was created and people donated to him for his legal fees that may come. At the time, it was like for his legal fees that may come. So the family, if I'm not mistaken, the family is almost at $1 million right now, in all, total, right? So they took the money and supposedly moved, and the money's supposed to be used for his legal fees, whatever. And what ended up happening is that once he did have that bond, people got upset because the judge took the bond and lowered it from like $1 million, I think, like that. And like I said, yo, just go look it up because it was somewhere up there. It was really high. And then they brought it down. Okay. They brought the totality of it down so he can get out. So what ended up happening is that he ended up having to be on house arrest. Thank you for the update. Is the right call. It said, thank you for the update. Is the right call from prosecutors. Psalms 23, Psalms 46, 22, 47. I thank you for the $5 super chat, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what are you trying to say by that statement right there? Chill guy said YouTube would take 75 cents, 75 tax of that. Yeah, YouTube gonna get it. Yeah. Well, actually, in my case, because I've been doing it for a long time, it's 55-45. Now YouTube takes 55% of whatever I make from YouTube, and I get 45 now. It used to be 60-40. Teresa Foss says, everybody go read the freaking police report and then come back on here and say that anything that we are saying is false. That's facts. That's too easy to do, though. Teresa, it's too easy for people to go and research things themselves. That's too easy. It needs to be the hard way. It needs to just be up here and scream and yell, through being a keyboard warrior. Oh, you're wrong. Blah, 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 blah. It's easier to do that though. The same amount of time it's taking them to type up and say, you're wrong, you're saying this. They can use that same amount of time to just pull up another tab on their computer and look at it themselves. They can go and read the whole report, see what the cop said, see what Karmelo said and everything like that. And here's the thing. What gets people mixed up about this whole ordeal is that some of you guys have a bad, flawed comprehension. No one is justifying what Karmelo Anthony did. No one is justifying that whatsoever. It's completely wrong. It's completely messed up. There is going to be punishment, and whatever that punishment is going to be, however the jury and the justice system finds Karmelo Anthony to be, we are just going to have to accept that. Plain and simple. Okay, for Karmelo to be tried as an adult. Yeah, well, the report that I just read right now, if you look it up right now, they saying that they are going to try. They say he will be tried as an adult for first-degree murder. And for some reason, I don't know how they had to get the Supreme Court involved in this, where the Supreme Court had to end up saying a few things. I think someone made a comment saying, like, I think either one of the lawyers made a comment saying, like, the Supreme Court does recognize Texas 16 to 17-year-olds in certain cases and everything like that to be able to be tried as an adult should it have to go that far. Because here's the deal. If he is convicted, from what I read and what my sources sent me, if he is convicted of this, he cannot get the death penalty, right? And then they said this, he can get life, but he gets out on parole when he turns 40. That's what they're saying. So it is what it is. So it's so many variables and things in this, folks. It all comes down to a right and wrong thing. It all comes down to a right and wrong. And that's why if you really think about everything that you do in your daily life period, a lot of things are going to come down to choices. Plain and simple. And although this can be something so simple that what I'm about to say right now, but a lot of people have a hard time doing this. A lot of people have a hard time doing this, and what they have a hard time doing is actually doing the right thing. Hey, Karmelo Anthony should not have brought a knife to school. But unfortunately, he did. Karmelo Anthony should not have brought a knife to this track meet, but he did. Metcalf never should have put his hands on Karmelo Anthony, but he did. Metcalf should not have put his hands on Karmelo Anthony again, but he did. And what we get from those calculations are 2 families and 2 young men's lives destroyed. That's what we get. That's exactly what we get, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, now I'll take this time to read the comments right here. Okay, so Blacktop Charity says, no proof he put his hands on him ever. I would urge you to go and read the report, and you can hear what the witnesses all said to the police officers after they made their reports. Someone said he tried to stop him from going to his book bag. I don't know anything about that part. What's going on, daughter Tidwell? No, Kathy Miller said he didn't deserve death. I agree, but that's what happened. Someone said, okay, Gia said stop bullying people. I don't know if Karmelo was being bullied or not. I don't think that's ever been proven. Cheek said it's like 1955 all over again. Gia, you said he was bullied. I don't, like I said, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I never heard that. I never heard that story, or I never seen nothing that substantiated that that's true. Anthony admitted he provoked him upon arrest. No, no. When you tell, look, come on, y'all, understand this. You might interpret that as him being provocative, right? If somebody does something to me and I say, touch me again, touch me again. You get what I'm saying? Somebody push me, hey, okay, touch me again. I'm warning you. See what I'm saying? I'm warning you. Some of y'all don't understand that. That's not me provoking you. That's not me going, hey, yeah, come on, step right here, buddy. No, he touched him, and Karmelo Anthony said, touch me again and see what happens. Right? You walk, y'all, come on now. This shouldn't be hard. And again, I'm not justifying what Karmelo Anthony did. I'm just letting you know when a person makes that statement, all of us as adults in here, we should know what it means when somebody tell you, touch me again and see what happens. At Modern Renaissance Man from Matt Beckman says, certainly it's illegal for him to bring a knife. Ultimately, it's going to boil down to whether a jury feels it was justified. Yep. That's what I said. Yeah, we know bringing a knife to that track meet was wrong. All of that. It was completely wrong. But they're going to prove that with first degree murder, you're going to have to prove. You're going to have to prove that it was premeditated. Okay, Gia, I see what you mean. Are you trying to say like in that moment that Metcalf pushed him or whatever like that? Are you saying that in that moment he was being bullied? I can see what you were saying with that, but I can also say that no, Metcalf them said they didn't want him in his tent and he was in their space and they wanted him out of the tent. So I don't know if I would look at that as being bullied versus, you in my domain, you in our space, you underneath our tent. But I do get what you mean if you are saying that. His life was not in danger. Nobody was harming him. Well, according to witnesses, there was a scuffle that broke out. And if he says, touch me again, that's indicating that he was touched, pushed, or whatever you want to call it, before. Okay. Abel says, I understand inner city had criminal youth gangs forever and they have scattered everywhere. I don't know what that's supposed to mean because Karmelo Anthony was not a thug-like kid or a criminal-like kid. He came up in a two-parent home. Karmelo Anthony, trust me, I'm from the streets, y'all, so I know this. Karmelo Anthony was trying to perpetuate that type of a life, but he really wasn't about that life. I know he might have a video or something there. We got a video of him holding a toy gun or whatever like that. The dude grew up in the suburbs in a really good two-parent household. He was not really about that life. He was the one that was trying to, what we call in the street, he was flogging. He was trying to perpetuate that he was like down, like he was hood, but he wasn't. Just like Jasmine Crockett right now trying to perpetuate like she a sister and and yeah, girl, and and we be getting down. Just like when Kamala Harris tried to, I eat hot sauce and I put them on my greens too. I once washed my greens in a bathtub to clean my greens. They faking it. I mean, they perpetuate. They're trying to appeal to the hood people. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wasn't about that life. He wasn't. But I understand why y'all would think that though. Okay, Candy H said he wanted confrontation. That's why he sat in the tent. How would you prove that though? How would you prove that he purposely went to that tent just to start confrontation? Because according to what everybody else was saying, that they say that not say everybody, according to what a lot of sources that were there and witnesses were saying is that it was raining and he went under that tent. And then another person said he was invited under that tent. There's so many different stories out there, but what can be proven, and don't take my word for it. Don't believe me, guys. I want y'all to go on to your computer right now. You will be able to see on that day it was raining. And people said it was a little bit of a downpour, and he went under that tent. So some people say he bought a knife because he was being bullied. I don't know. Everybody got their own stories. Salty Colonel said, "Hope he gets life." Well, if he does get life, he won't have to serve the whole thing. Y'all don't believe me? Look this up right now. He won't have to serve the whole thing. He can be on parole and can be out by the time he's 40 if he's convicted of first-degree murder. Gia, you just said you're glad that Austin, somebody, trying to read some of you things. Yes, Gia said he warned them. That's what I'm saying. I'm not justifying what he did, but when somebody says, hey, touch me again and see what happens. Okay. T says MRM students aren't allowed weapons and definitely aren't allowed to stab. No way. What? That is just, are you kidding me? Are you mean to tell me the students aren't allowed to bring weapons to school and definitely not allowed to stab? I can end this stream right now because I had no idea. Come on, T. I'm giving you a hard time, but come on now. I know that. Come on now. Jeez. Oh, man. Okay, I just missed the super chat right there. Psalms 46:247 says, Karmelo was known for getting into fights, but like one of his classmates said on the news, this time he took it too far. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to come into play there, testimonials and all that. What's going on behind Ari B? Frosty says, so you would stab someone if asked to leave? No, Frosty, it didn't work that way. They didn't say leave. And he said, pull out a knife and go, no. No. He apparently, according to what they were saying, I'm keeping on. Y'all, I feel like I'm telling this story along over and over again. Look, go read the police report. It's on the internet right now. Just go read the police report. What I want y'all to understand is that on top of this, Karmelo Anthony or no one is justifying what he did. Nobody is justifying what Karmelo Anthony did. Karmelo Anthony already said, I did it. I did it. Now, what y'all need to understand is that the subject that's going to have to be at hand is, was it premeditated? Was it self-defense? Was it first-degree murder? You're going to have to prove that. Was his intention to kill him is what they're going to have to prove, which that's going to be kind of hard. Matt Beckham said, it's really odd to me that the full police report and witness statements haven't been released. Matt, you can read the police statement, the initial one, when the guy first questioned Karmelo Anthony and all that. What I want, though, look, check this out. This is what's crazy. What I want to know is, why don't we have the video that the police officers said that they got several videos from cell phones? That's what I want to see. I want to see the video will show everything. So it was just too much weird stuff happening there. Metcalf's father was like showing up to like the press conferences of Karmelo Anthony. It's just some weird stuff that was happening there. Like, what in the world? Modern Renaissance man, what do you think the political perspective of the book Tension Jurors would be in the city where this trial will take effect? Unfortunately, because of certain people with certain mindsets, they're going to turn this into a O.J. Simpson type thing. Only difference is This young man already confessed. This young man already confessed. Now, second degree murder, manslaughter, I get it. But first degree murder, look, y'all, listen to this. Some of y'all are not understanding this. People are not understanding this. I can tell based off some of your comments. Nobody is saying that he did not kill Metcalf. He obviously killed Metcalf. What's going to have to be proven if he did it with premeditation? Y'all ever heard of things like crime of passion? But crime of passion can only happen if you were a couple. Y'all know each other. Y'all got a strong relationship. This was a random, honestly, it was a high school fight that went bad because dude pulled out a knife in a cowardly way. T, stop. T said, MRM, I'm a huge fan. It's high school kids having weapons are not allowed because kids don't know how to moderate behavior. T, we know that. We know. I know what you're saying, T. I've already mentioned that earlier. You're not supposed to have any weapons at school at all. At the same time, would it have been different if you would have stabbed him in the eye and went to his brain with a pen or a pencil? I just want to know where's the footage at. Pierre, wow, close name right there, my friend, says both brothers was jumping Anthony. He did what he had to do. That's not what I'm just telling you. That's not what some of the reports were saying. It was only from what I was told, from what we were being told, it was between the bigger twin and Anthony. Tiny says, I wish Karmelo was eligible for the death penalty. He deserves it 110%, but hopefully he'll get life. Again, I get what you're saying, and that's going to be up to the jury then to decide that. I mean, that type of thing is going to have to be proven. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I know like a lot of emotions and things like that involved in this, but you got to understand something. Premeditation, again, is going to have to be proven. And already they said he can't get life. He can get sentenced to life, but then they said something with parole, he can get out by the time he's 40. You jumping around laughing at me seems unnecessary. I bought your merch. My point is valid. No one said it's not valid, T. And you buy my merch and everything like that. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like, is that supposed to be like a way that I'm not supposed to be me? I mean, if you follow my channel and you know my personality, that what I just did shouldn't surprise you. And you buy my merch, although it's appreciative, that's not going to be some sort of way to manipulate me into not being who I am and not act like how I usually act. So I do appreciate you buying the merch and everything like that. That's all good. But I hope you understanding what I'm saying right now, because I'm not acting out of pocket. You and any of my subscribers that have been with me for years, I would have done the same thing. If this was non-lethal, one of my moderators, ask them, I do them the same exact way. Sometimes they'll say things to me and I'm like, no way. And they'll, oh, shut up, Ty. So don't take it personally. Like don't take it personally. That's just me being me. This is extra just to send everyone in the thread some love. Psalms with the $10 super chat. God bless you for that. And I appreciate you donating $10 of your hard-earned money. Won't be first degree, will never stick, says Copper Coat Candies. Copper Coat Candy says it won't be first degree. Honestly, I don't believe it either. Matt Beckham, who's been with me for a long time, says, I think he was a soldier for the race war that has started. Seems black on white murders have increased. Not just black on white murders, it's been black on white racism. Thank the last administration and all that woke bull crap. Murder on school grounds. No weapon on school grounds. He didn't know who he was going to stab. He just knew he was going to use that knife that day. He created this whole situation. Gypsy, that can't be proven because someone can sit there and say, that Metcalf them set up their tent because they knew that it was going to rain that day, and they knew that when it rains, people want to come underneath their tent. Therefore, whoever came under that tent, Metcalf then wanted to show how strong he was by pushing out anybody that came under that tent. They knew that. You see what I'm saying? That's, and I'm not, look, I'm telling you, look, have y'all ever sat in courts before, like real courts? This is what they do. But again, him carrying that knife does not prove that he was going there to murder somebody. That's what's going to have to be proven. MRM, I've been in many fights in school. Not once did I ever pull a weapon. I think he was itching to do this, especially with all the racial tension going on right now and hate towards white people online. Well, I get what you're saying with that, but nobody can say that that's what Karmelo Anthony did it for. Guess what? I am a concealed carrier. I'm a concealed carrier. I don't carry the gun around because I'm going around looking for trouble. I don't do that for that. Well, that's you, Ty. What I'm saying is, again, I get what you're saying, but that's something that no one is going to be able to prove, because the minute Karmelo Anthony said, "Oh yeah, I brought my knife to school several times," or he might say, "I brought my knife to school just this one time," or he might say, "I keep this knife on me all the time. I know I'm not supposed to bring it, but I just bring it anyway." And who knows? Y'all, we just don't. I don't know what's going to happen until that trial starts and we find some other things out. I cannot say. Teresa says, where the heck is people getting all these information from? I don't know. I'm just going off the, okay, we got law says they can't show the footage now. There is footage because it will compromise his right to a fair trial. I hear you. Long Dog said, MRM, the fact that he brought a knife onto school grounds, I guess what effects do you think that has on the trial and his potential guilt and punishment? Apparently, a law was broken. Yeah, I understand that. So then, Long Dog, what they would do, I'm telling you, what they're going to do is they're going to say to the school, give us a report of how many kids that you guys confiscated a knife and that kid got suspended. Because which trust me when I tell you, at that school that he went to, there are going to be someone that's in that school that got caught with, I don't care if it was a butter knife, a Swiss knife, someone in that school is going to be caught with some weapon that got reported, and that kid, they're going to show that person got suspended. So then what they're going to say is this: all those different kids that got suspended for bringing a knife to school that knew they weren't supposed to bring it, any of those kids in the history of that school that ever brought a knife, are you saying that those kids that brought a knife to school and got caught, all of them had murder on their mind? You see what I'm saying? Now, again, folks, me saying this is I'm just giving you all a glimpse into what they do in that courtroom. They're going to say, so what y'all are saying, that any kid that brought a knife to school ever, that was premeditated murder that they had on their mind? See, then it's going to be like, oh, well, you see what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, but yeah, I'm with y'all. Yeah, he broke a law. He should not have brought a freaking knife to school. That's crazy. But by him being 16, 17 years old, they're trying him as an adult, though. Frosty said, you are pretty level-headed, my friend. Appreciate it. I try to be. People think I'm taking sides here. No, I'm just throwing out facts. Gia said, you donating think that you have any type of ownership over him. Oh, you talking about the person that said they bought my merch. Oh, I get what you're saying. Binary B says, Ty, just speaking facts. Rationally, some folks don't speak rationale, though. Yeah. Teresa Falls says, sorry, I have to leave because I cannot put up with ignorance. The police report is out there. If you don't want to believe whatever it says, then whatever. Richardson says, you do know whenever you go to jail, they send you to a hospital to do a full medical evaluation, and no wounds was reported on Anthony. Right? But it doesn't prove that there wasn't a scuffle or anything that broke out. You know what I mean? I hear you. We had to do the physicals and things. We had to do a lot of those. So I mean, I get what you're saying. Like we get people that will come in that were they were ex-prison, well, they actually were in prison. They were coming there in cuffs and everything, and they would say, "Oh, a fight broke out at the prison. He suffered a fall. He fell down some stairs." And when we have to when we have to evaluate them and look at them and everything like that before actually setting out a plan of care, sometimes we're like, "He fell down a flight of stairs. This dude don't have no bruises on him at all." When y'all say this happened, less than 24 hours. I mean, so I get what you're saying. No, not having any bruises on his body or anything like that doesn't prove that there wasn't like a scuffle that broke out, whatever. Okay, Lunas5 on it says, MRM Carmelo was suspended once for a knife in school. He was told not to bring the knife back to school grounds, meaning school events too. So it won't work out well for him on that alone. I haven't heard that before. So I hear you. I mean, yeah, I agree. If that's true, absolutely 100%. I agree. But I just haven't heard that part yet. Playgirl says you can't read his mind. Stop it. Yeah, I think that's what's getting a lot of people messed up. Dang, you said it. Black on white racism. Glad someone can say it. Thanks for staying honest and speaking on things that others ignore. No, that's the truth. I don't know why black people think they can't be racist. They definitely can be racist. They got this thing that black people can't be racist because we hold no power and we don't really own. That ain't got nothing to do with the hatred you have for your heart towards the other person because of their skin color. That makes no sense. So then they'll say things like all the forefathers, or when they first founded this country, it was all on racism. Well, the Indians owned most of all America. Really, apparently at that time, the Indians owned everything. White men didn't. So therefore, white men didn't own nothing. So how can, I know people get pissed off when I do things like that. Yes, black on white racism is out of control. Bottom line, it's sad. And exactly, I carry, but I don't ever want to use it. Yep. Bro, they're going to charge him with murder and he'll be convicted and he'll get, I'm not going to read that. Bob Hill, I'm not going to read that. If you're going, I'm one of those people. Y'all, I'm all about freedom of speech, but I'm not going to entertain some nonsense stuff. Come on now. Make sure you guys, if y'all are on y'all, if you guys are on your, if you are on your computer, give the video a thumbs up. If you are on a phone, double tap the screen and it will give the video a thumbs up. Somebody is being flagged right now because YouTube is flagging somebody. Bob, I don't know what's going on with you, but for some reason YouTube is flagging you. So you might be saying something against their community guidelines. I'm letting you know, I don't censor anybody's comments. I'm all about freedom of speech. I don't care what you call me or anything like that. I'm not one of those people. I got thick skin. That's what y'all call me, don't matter. But all I know, Bob, right now, YouTube's AI is flagging you. Okay, I don't know if y'all talking to each other, if y'all talking to me. Okay, there we go. Matt said, you ran track. Did you ever have a cleat cleaner? Yeah. But our coach was supposed to, when the only time we got it, I had, like, if I ran across the field, coach, I need the cleat cleaner. He give it to me. You bring it right back as soon as you get done. Matter of fact, we had to bring the spikes. We call our shoes, we call them spikes. We brought our spikes to him and we had to use it in front of him and give it back. The only thing that I kept in reference to my spikes is the spike key is what we called it. Just ran into you. Like what I hear. And we, brother, keep it up, says Henry. Okay, Richardson Movie Channel says, he said, touch me and see what happens. This is what the state will use as premeditation, but I think they will find him guilty of the lesser. Well, no, see, here's the deal. I get what you're saying with that right there, but people are using it as a means to say that he's provoking. No, that's not provoking. That's a warning. You know what I mean? That was a warning. So apparently he's been touched before. And he said, touch me again and see what happens. He don't want him to touch him. People are thinking like he's saying, yeah, I got something for you. No, it's more like, okay, you push me. Okay, touch me again and see what happens. No, touch me again. See, that's like the type of thing I'm warning you. I'm not saying I want you to touch me or I want you to push me. I'm warning you not to touch, because if you touch me again, something's going to happen. Now, if Karmelo Anthony would have just started going crazy, punching the dude while the dude passed out, and Karmelo, it just kept on pounding his face and put the dude in like, you know what I'm saying? Killed him like that, then all I'm saying, I get what you're saying. I agree with you, Richardson Movie Channel. I agree with you when you're saying that they might end up giving him a lesser charge of manslaughter. I agree with that, but first degree murder, that's the only thing I think that's going to have to be, it's going to be hard to prove that. The whole situation is just sad. As an Aussie, we felt it all over the world. Wow. Thanks for letting me know that, Tweak. Yeah, no school allows you to carry no knife on the school grounds. Not that I know of. Clay Morgan says, you're right. Makes no sense at all. But how do other people not understand that? Hopefully that changes. Hopefully that changes. Keep spitting truth, sir. Respect you. Hey, appreciate that. Happy 3721 says, life has a way of humbling people. Tiny Dancer says, to win a self-defense case, the defendant must not have provoked it and use equal or proportional force against the perpetrator. A knife to a shove is not equal force. Case closed. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, self-defense, and we're talking Texas, kind of like a stand your ground. If Karmelo Anthony, check this out, a Tiny, guess what people are saying? Guess what they're like a lot, because I got a lot of people around me that, let's just say, got a lot of defense lawyers that are saying Karmelo Anthony is a smaller framed kid, small little bony boy. Metcalf is probably like, I don't know much about Metcalf, but they said he about like me, 6'3", 220 some pounds. Okay. And yeah, I know a lot of people think, I don't know why, for some odd reason, when people actually see me out in public, they're, dude, you're way taller than what I thought. Because I'm sitting down on YouTube, so people think I'm like, I don't know why people think I'm like 5'9". I'm 6'3", right? And they'll say Metcalf was way bigger than Anthony and definitely would have had the advantage. And so Anthony used, which he shouldn't have, let's keep it real, he shouldn't have used no knife at all. But that's one of the things they said that they can run with. Unbleached Man says, love you, my brother. I appreciate it. Binary B says, I carry a knife which has a million use Apple thread tools. I carry protection. I don't want to use it, but I have it in case I must. I hear you. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button for me again. Law says, Ty, what are your thoughts on Karmelo earning his diploma after he was expelled from school for this interaction? Frisco ISD folded. He earned a diploma? How? From the school? I mean, okay, is it possible that he got his, when you say diploma, like, did he actually get his diploma or did he get like a GED? I mean, if he got his diploma from that school, that's crazy. When you're expelled from the school, you don't get no diploma from that school. That's crazy. MRM, it has been confirmed. It was, oh, I know it wasn't a clean. I know it wasn't a clean cleaner. I know that for a fact. Yeah, they said it was a knife. Guys, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. The whole bully story. People say he was being bullied, but that was Metcalf and Anthony's first time ever meeting each other, unfortunately. So the crazy thing about that is when you make statements, and I'm just telling you, I'm not saying any of you in here are doing this, but when you throw around a statement, he was being bullied, it almost like it's trying to imply that Karmelo Anthony has been being bullied by Metcalf. And at the same time, if Karmelo Anthony was being bullied, indeed, his parents never once said he told them any of that. Well, Ty, most people that get bullied, they don't tell their parents because they feel embarrassed. He didn't. If Karmelo Anthony was being bullied, are there any school reports about it? Did he tell his parents? Did he tell any of his friends? Are any of his friends coming forth right now saying, yeah, Karmelo Anthony was being bullied so much, but at the same time, there still is no justification for him to bring a knife to school or bring a knife to the track meet, though. There's no justification for that. So the only reason I'm saying that is that we got to still look at the end result, period. We got to look at the end result, period. I mean, those Columbine boys were being bullied too. Look what happened there. They shouldn't have brought a gun to school, but they did. But people were saying that they were being bullied too. But why is it that if this was happening, let's just say we roll with that story, if he was being bullied and the school knew about it, then the school then could have prevented a whole lot of stuff from happening. If that's what happened, if y'all follow me. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Just because somebody, I'm just keeping it real. Just because somebody is being bullied, it does not mean that somebody is being bullied. It does not mean that you're going to be, you should bring a weapon to school. No. If you're being bullied, you need to tell your parents, you need to tell the school. A conversation needs to be had. Okay, so this is what I get asked a lot. You guys will say to me, Ty, okay, if your son was being bullied, what would you do? I will call the school. I will let them know I'm coming up there tomorrow or I'm coming up there today. My son is saying that he's being bullied by this individual. I am coming up there today. I want you to call that other kid's parents and I want to have a meeting with this other kid's parents. I want your child there and I want my child there, and we're going to take care of it, plain and simple. That's it. Get your child in order. Tell your child to quit bullying my son. Plain and simple. Now, if your child continues to bully my son after that happens, however your son is bullying my son, what would happen if somebody bigger than your son started bullying your son? I don't know. I mean, what if one of my son's cousins who heard that your son was bullying my son, they start bullying your son the same way that your son is bullying my son? Would you have a problem with that, or would you be okay with that? No? Okay, then we agree. Get your son. But I would not sit there and tell my son, hey, when they do this, you better make sure you do X, Y, and Z. You better make sure. No, there's no cause for that. Happy says you don't kill someone unarmed. Okay, if someone kicks in my front door because they don't think that I'm at home and all they have is a flashlight, and I let all 16 rounds off in that person, See, she said that's not what I mean. I'm just saying, you got with a person like me though, Happy, you gotta give me you better give me some more clarification or some more context on what you're saying, because me at home with my family, I don't care what you have or don't have. If you come into my house without my permission, well, Ty, he only had a flashlight. Well, we need more context, so you gotta give me some more. You gotta give me some more, because if a verbal argument ensues, you don't need to knife them. Okay, if a verbal argument ensues, you don't need to punch them, right? Metcalf put his hands on Anthony, according to the report and according to what witnesses said. Karmelo Anthony is known for saying, touch me again and see what happens. Something happened. He said, punch me again and see what happens. So if the fact that he had to say, punch me again and see what happens, it almost indicates that he was punched or something the first time. I don't know. I'm just going based off of what the report said Karmelo Anthony says. So when you say if a verbal argument ensues, you don't need a knife. Well, if a verbal argument ensues, it don't mean that you need to push or punch. But he did, unfortunately, you know. Agreed. Happy, we agree. When you say you should not punch or touch anyone, T says Karmelo didn't get punched, right? Until that video come out, all we can go based off of is what the witnesses said. He said, touch me and see what happens. And then he said, punch me again and see what happens. That's all we can, that's it. Now, that's it. Clay girl said he won't be saying that in prison. Y'all horrible. And he won't be saying that in prison, huh? That's if he goes. If he doesn't get convicted of first-degree murder and he gets off, I mean, that's just going to be it. No. Oh, T, you said, okay, so we don't know. So why are we here? Let the facts come out. No, what I'm saying is that I don't know, but I'm just telling you what the report says. I'm telling you that the report that the police officer had and the statements made by the witnesses are all saying that Karmelo Anthony said those things. So before we had video, all we went based off of is witnesses' statements and things like that. So as of right now, that's what's being said. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've answered and gave y'all all the information I possibly can. And in the second here, I'm going to be pretty much clocking out. I didn't think this video was going to last that long. Ty, do you know about Nicole Mui in Wisconsin? I don't think so. Now you're going to have me going up on my computer and doing some research here. Reports of what he said versus reports of dozens of witnesses. I've seen 0 stories of punches. He will say, you tired of us? No, it's just that, you know, I've done this for a long time. I don't like those. Check in on that case. Let me see that name again. Law, you said Nicole Mui. Nicole Mui, 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 Nicole Mui. Okay. Unifier, God bless you, Ty. You are an inspiration. I'm a sign off. Just got home from work. Hey, go to Unifier. Go to bed. Go to bed, bro. In fact, I'm getting ready to help you out, Unifier, because I know a lot of times when I go live, and I know sometimes when you're listening and things get good, you start seeing the comments, you start interacting with the comments, and all of a sudden you get that little burst of energy again. And then you find yourself being on here till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then you be like, man, why did I do that? I should have just came home and crashed. So I'm gonna help you out, Unifier, because I know how you got the same type of spirit I got a little bit. I know how things can get when we get into these little talks and things like this. So, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna look into the movie thing. Matt Beckham says, I'd appreciate Dragon Attack by Queen official lyric version when you get back to music reactions. Matt! What? Are you seriously saying this? Look, this is Matt. This is to show you how crazily heavily suppressed my channel is. I have not stopped doing music reactions. I posted like 4 videos today. Matt, that is crazy that you're saying this. I have not stopped doing reaction videos every month like clockwork, Matt. I have not stopped doing them. YouTube is not notifying you guys of the reaction videos that I've been posting. I did an Angelina Jordan video today. She did Angelina Jordan did Valentine, and oh my God, that's crazy that you're saying that. Okay, Nikolai, Mui. That's crazy, Matt. And YouTube swears it's on you guys. It's like, well, they're telling me that you guys don't have the bell notification. That's why every video I tell people to make sure that bell notification is clicked and everything like that. That is crazy. James Napier says, my dad loves watching you in the middle of the night. Hey, I appreciate that. Tell your dad I appreciate him, and I appreciate him watching, and I appreciate the support. MRM, I need the police report. It says a punch was not thrown. It says Austin grabbed Karmelo to remove him, and that's when he stabbed him. That was Karmelo's statement. Right, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that you need to see if you can find a report of them actually questioning some of the witnesses and what the witnesses said. All right, folks, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to get out of here. If y'all go on my channel and look at the reaction videos I did today, the ones that y'all are trying to tell me to react to, make sure y'all put that in the comment section. I'll see if I can get to those, all right? So with that being said, Claygirl said, I thought you was getting back to it. First time I saw music reactions was yesterday. That's crazy. I've been doing them every month like clockwork, and YouTube is not notifying y'all. So anyway, make sure y'all go over the videos I did today, the reaction videos. Make sure you go over there. Check that out. Put it in the comment section. I'll see if I can get a hold of those, all right? That being said, guys, I'm Ty Smith, Model Renaissance Man, and I hope and pray that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.